I just see myself as able-bodied. It seems like a big thing I've lost a leg, and it is a big thing. But if there's no dark days happening, why would I dwell on it?
How mentally demanding was the show, in your opinion? It looks like there's a lot of mind games from the start.
So yeah, your mindset in there. It's so hard to know what mindset to be in because you change your mind throughout the day based on anything because you literally have nothing to go off. You've never met these people before. They're complete strangers. You don't know who's pretending to be someone they're not. You don't know who's being their authentic self. So you're absolutely looking at everything. I was constantly worried in there that anytime I spoke, I would say the wrong thing and everyone would look at me. You're like, you can see how it can just go completely the wrong way. Mentally, it was very challenging in there in the sense of you're questioning yourself as well. And people are pulling you up on things about yourself and you know who you are. And for someone to go, I think you could be, you're like, well, you think wrong because I'm not. And it's hard to be accused of something that you haven't done, essentially. And trying to convince someone of that is even harder when you have no proof and they have no evidence.
When it came to you, though, did you find it difficult to keep your emotions in check?
I'm a person that will never take things too to heart. I'm too understanding for my own good. I tend to see people's good things rather than their bad things. I acknowledge their bad traits, but I look at a root of why. Where did that come from? And that is, you could see that as having a good attitude, but you can get kicked up the arse at the same time with that attitude. I think it's reminding yourself that you are playing a game. And that's the biggest thing you can remind yourself in there because everything is so real. Everything is so genuine to what you see, how it's coming across on the telly. You're 22 complete strangers. Some are on Team Traitors, some are on Team Faithfuls. The Faithfuls don't know who's on their team, so you feel like a lone warrior to a certain extent because anyone you speak to could be a traitor. So you kind of like, you want to talk about how you feel with someone, but you don't because they could be your enemy. And you're like, ah. So every time I went to talk, I was a bit like, at first, I'm a person that will naturally always be myself and just, do what I got to do. But I found that very hard in there because of those feelings of you don't know who to trust. If it's my time to go, it's my time to go. And I was very much in that mindset with a shield. So I thought, I ain't going to go for a shield because if I'm going to get murdered, I'm going to get murdered. Not the best game tactics, but in life it works.
How have you found it, the online reaction to you?
It's been so surreal, honestly. I always thought I was quite self-aware. I am self-aware, but my self-esteem isn't as great as what I thought it was. Anything I do, I always feel like I've said the wrong thing. I've upset. I'm like that anyway. But then I always hear, "What you want about, Johnny? You didn't come across like that at all. People thought you were brilliant." Or anything I've done has had that same sort of reaction. But I'm just in my head. There's that little voice that's going, "They're just pretending. They don't really think that. They don't mean that." And I'm like, no, you need to stop it. Like, you need to be a little bit more confident in your self-esteem because how you've come across is okay. So it's been, for me, it's been quite mentally rewarding in a sense, and it's proven those negative thoughts wrong inside my head. And it's been really nice, to be honest. I've loved it. I'm definitely a person that lacks somewhat trust in humanity, and just this show has shown really nice humanity moments in it. And that's been rewarding as well.
Well, going on about trusting humanity. So, did you see your banishment as playing the game, or was it a bit personal to you?
I didn't take it personally at all. If I was one of them, I probably would have put my name down on the board as well to go for Jonny. So obviously there was Harry in there. We're both military, and there's that natural connection. I always say it's like we're raised by the same parents, and those parents are the army, and we have the same sort of values and standards and understanding. And therefore, I also understand that if you're given a mission, you do it. And I was very understanding with that. And I always knew in my head if Harry is a traitor or a faithful, it doesn't matter to me because I'm not going to take that personally. What happens in this game happens in this game. What happens outside of the game is a different story. Does that make sense?
When you went on the show, you talked about your disability. Did you request any adjustments to be made?
Things like accessibility and all of that was very much offered to me, but I firmly said, I don't want it. I just see myself as able-bodied and looking at myself I like a challenge anyway. So I'm like, nah, I don't need that. I can do it. I can crack on just as fine. And I very much still can do things. It seems like a big thing. I've lost a leg, and it is a big thing. And there is dark days with it. But if there's no dark days happening, why would I dwell on it? I would just try and get on with it. And that's what I do.
What was your mindset going in knowing about the challenges in the show?
I'm still the type of person that loves going to Go Ape and doing high ropes, and I'm always doing these things. And people are like, you can't do that. You got one leg. You said I can't do it. I can do it, can't I? I'm just doing it because I can. And why would I not do it? I guess I was worried about some of the water missions because it's the afterwards of taking my leg off, and then if I tip it upside down, there'd be water pouring everywhere. Little things like that were more of a worry to me, and getting me trousers wet because my leg stays wet once it's wet. But in terms of the actual missions, I was more excited than nervous. I loved it. I absolutely love it.